And really the only other story I could get to other than our reactions is a little thigh slapping.
Oh,
so,
Jesus.
I would be absolute remiss if I didn't talk about the thigh slapping.
Oh, I can't even handle this story.
It could be one of the dumbest stories I've ever seen in my entire life.
They've lost their minds.
So WWE, all right. And I'm not picking on them. They're picking on themselves.
Yes, they are. They're just asking for it.
All right. I am a avid Observer member, so I'm just going to take this straight from the Observer. Well, actually from the figure4online.com, in this week's Wrestling Observer newsletter, Dave Meltzer discussed the WWE cracking down on wrestlers for slapping their thigh or leg when throwing kicks. And on Saturday's Wrestling Observer Radio, he had more details on the genesis of the new policy. Meltzer said there is a new signage outside the gorilla position and backstage that reads, "Do not slap leg when kicking." From what Meltzer was told, Vince McMahon saw someone do a fairly obvious slap on an episode of SmackDown and got upset, resulting in the new doctrine. Meltzer initially reported there was a memo sent to NXT talent at one point, but that no one said a word about it since it was sent. It's unknown how WWE will enforce this new rule if it's broken. The irony of a group where Shawn Michaels is one of the main instructors who grew up watching Chris Adams, my favorite wrestler as a child,
yes.
one of them, getting mad because internet trolls who hate the Young Bucks complain about thigh slapping is the ultimate in silliness. The only time I can recall it even being noticeable was when Nikki Bella came off the top rope with a kick that missed because her body was so programmed on delivering a kick motion. She slapped her thigh in midair, which was obvious on a kick that was supposed to miss. Yes, that spot should be taught, not how not to do it, he wrote in this week's newsletter. The sleight of hand in creating a sound effect is something that's been part of the business for decades, as Meltzer noted. Mr. Wrestling 2 was famous for a hard back slaps on the knee lift for sound effects. Dating back to the 50s, there was a stomp your foot hard on the mat at the moment of connection on the punch. The thigh slap super kick dates back to Chris Adams from when he came over from the UK. It's one of the silliest things to worry about because perfectly timed moves garner great crowd response generally. But it became a buzzword for people who are mad it's used so frequently. As if punches weren't far more frequent, doing the same thing in the 70s, and punches worked fine in those days. It's really one of the dumbest things ever. Plus, let me tell you, you ever seen that really mean punch Bobby Eaton gives? Well, I managed Bobby Eaton, and he slaps his damn chest, all right, or his belly or his side or something like that. It's hard to tell because I'm standing right below him, and I tried my best because it was always so good. I always want to see it. But listen, there's an art to everything. Yes, there are some people that are great at the art. Some people are not so great at the art. Let me tell you something else. Back in 1975, you know what they didn't have? HD, 4K, 5,000 cameras. They didn't have that. So it was kind of easy to go watch something from 1983, okay? Go watch something from 1983. Tell me how fucking easy it would be to get away with something. I could literally throw snap pops on the ground and you wouldn't see it in 1983. Oh my God, he just shot off like 50 times with that one chop. I could have a midget behind me with 2 pieces of clapwood, and every time I throw a punch, the midget could go every fucking time. Vince McMahon has lost his goddamn mind, and it's irritating. Okay,
he's just throwing a
so
fit.
let them do it. Let them do it. Let them do it all. You know what else they shouldn't do? Bounce off the goddamn ropes, because it don't really work. Surprise! First day of wrestling training, I go into the ropes expecting a big burst of motion taking me across the ring. It don't work! It's a work! It's all a fucking work! So I don't understand what the difference in working this and working that is, okay? We hold you up on a goddamn pile driver. Do you want me to keep going? We cut a big flip on a backdrop. You want to quit doing it all? I don't know, pal. They're gonna figure it out. You know what makes them figure it out? When you go on national TV and go, oh, we're entertainment. I don't want you to use the word wrestling. It's entertainment. We don't have wrestlers. We have sports entertainers. Gibbly gobbly, gobbly smack.
It's going to be hard to entertain anyone when your kicks don't make any noise.
Oh, no, it's great. It's absolutely fantastic.
Oh, God.
So WrestleMania will be sold out with deaf people.
Oh my.
It's just going to be a whole sea of those less fortunate who have lost their hearing. It's actually great because, we're not going to have to worry about finding tickets for everybody because it's going to be easy. The people can come out and go, and just let them right in. Marley, Matt, whatever all these people were, these names. It don't matter. Listen, how dumb, how stupid, how ignorant. Okay? I don't care if I got a phone call right now. And someone was like, hey, John, guess what? We know you've been around for a long time. We know you've been down there, Tennessee. We know you got a good mind for things, and you're articulate. We've decided, you know what? We really want you up here. We're going to pay you $1 million that you kiss my ass. I want this on record.
The answer is no.
I want it on record, okay? Because some people are like, that's what you say. That's what you say, but let me tell you, if somebody called you right now, you go, no, I really wouldn't. Fuck off. That's my answer.
How can you work in those conditions?
I wouldn't. I wouldn't try it. I wouldn't do it. There's no way. It's ridiculous. There's no way. Because that kick is only, no matter what they say the reason is, it's because they're competition.
Yeah.
It's because the people that are their competition have done that and done that well.
Yes.
And they that's part of their shtick.
Mm-hmm.
It's just part of their shtick. They have fun with it, but it's part of the shtick. And they also do more death-defying moves than anybody else. Most of them people, I'm talking like even Kenny Omega matches and this and that, there are matches that are just unbelievable. Go watch Phoenix, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Phoenix, he does the same thing, okay? But he also does moves that defy what human beings are supposed to be able to do.
It doesn't take away anything.
It's all how you sell it.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is how you sell it. The first fight I ever got in school, okay? In high school, the first time I got in a fist fight, I stomped my foot when I threw a punch. I didn't have a good outing on my first fight.
I know.
I don't know many people that do, but I got in a lot of fist fights, okay? This is just the truth, and it's worth telling you. I got in a whole lot of fist fights, and it didn't stop with school. I got in so many fights that I actually took a professional job where I did that and made money at it. And I'm not talking about wrestling. I said made money at it because I enjoy it, okay? But it's still in my DNA to want to stomp my foot because I watched so much wrestling growing up. I thought that was what you did, okay? I really thought it was what you did. And let me, from what I was saying a second ago, let me tell you this. It's the realest thing I've ever done. Okay? It's the realest thing I've ever done. Pro wrestling has nearly killed me. Mm-hmm. And I don't care. I've got a lot of friends that have made it. I've had friends as they were in WWE. I've had friends in TNA. I've had friends in New Japan. I've had friends everywhere. And, it's great. They've traveled the miles. They've done the thing, right? Yeah. And there's guys like me that's been around 20 years in the business, and man, they want to remind you of that every 5 seconds. Like Chase said, Chase Owen said the other day on one of his things on Twitch, but they've never traveled more than 25 miles or whatever. Yeah. It's the truth, okay? I'd like to think that I've traveled as far as they would have me. I've traveled to West Virginia and Georgia and Memphis and all this stuff, and would travel much further in a heartbeat for this business. Love this business. Absolutely love this business and have such a passion for it. Mm-hmm. But I tell you, man, this business also, on my small contributions for it, when I was still lacing up my boots and putting on my singlet, and taping my hands and, going out there, I nearly died because of this business. I nearly lost my life from head injuries because of this business. my brain swelled into the front of my skull because of this business. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter if you're Mick Foley. It doesn't matter if you're Nick Gage. It doesn't matter if you're Shawn Michaels. It can happen to anybody, okay? And I'm not proud of the fact that I nearly died, but I wouldn't take it back because I love the fucking wrestling business. Nobody can take that away or cheapen that for me. If I was famous in Kingsport, Tennessee, I was more famous than most people will ever get to be in the wrestling business. Mm-hmm. And I take pride in that. I take pride in the people that I've got to work with that I grew up loving and I still love. The Bobby Eatons, the Barbarians, the Tom Pritchards, the Ricky Mortons, these guys that I absolutely idolized that I got to work with. I love the fact that I work with local legends, in my opinion, the Tony Gibbons and the Bo James and the Chris Richards and all these guys, that became my brothers this time. And the guys that I've watched go from the first day of training to being international superstars. The Chase Owenses and the best indie guy out there, Jason Kincaid, and all these cats that have come through on their way to the top.
Yeah.
And that I've got a chance to work with. Soon you'll see Alex Zane and the Blake Christians and all these of the world that have came through Kingsport. Mm-hmm. And, that's our home mecca, if you will. And if you will, sorry, I don't care if I'm cutting a promo or not. My point to this is, I've lost a lot because of my love for professional wrestling, because of the passion that I put into it. And the last thing I need, and the last thing I like to see, is anything that draws attention that makes it look phony in any way. Okay? And it makes it look phony. Like, if you're trying to make something not be phony, pointing out something like leg slapping, do you know how many people probably didn't notice that? Mm-hmm. As many as did. I'll give you that, okay? And if one person noticed it that didn't notice it before, that takes that magic away from them. You can never put the genie back in the bottle. Once the genie's out, you cannot put it back in the bottle. And that's the thing. It changes your perception of what you're seeing, and it pisses me off really bad, if you can't tell. But the when I first went to train in wrestling, and we went through it, and I seen like things that with the way things worked. Okay, I'm not even going to get into that, but the way things work, what things are based off of, what constitutes doing it good and doing it bad, even down to working a certain body part, right? And it being a specific thing here. Which is not a big surprise, but it changed everything for me from then on. And the first time I watched wrestling after that, I no longer looked at it with the same magic in my eyes.
Changes.
It became more of a critique. Mm-hmm. And I had to get that out of me. It took me years to watch pro wrestling the same way. It took me years to watch pro wrestling again.
Yeah.
And dude, I never missed anything. But I missed a 10-year block somewhere in there because it became difficult. As it was all, I didn't want to be that guy. I didn't want to be the one critiquing it.
Yeah, just watching it to see what they did wrong.
I had to enjoy it. I had to break myself down and go back to being a fan on purpose so I could enjoy it and the others around me could enjoy it with me. I do it to this day. I lose every bit of smart I have when I'm watching a show and I let it entertain me.
Yeah.
I allow it to entertain me. So it really bothers me because if this comes out, and Vince didn't say, release it, or maybe he did, but whoever the jackass is that had to tell everybody, hey, there's something on the wall here that says don't slap legs. Well, that's saying these other guys do.
Yeah.
And it just sucks, man. It sucks because it's such a part of the business. If it wasn't so ingrained in the business, if it wasn't that I respect Bobby Eaton of the Midnight Express probably more than any other worker in the world. Okay, it's just a personal preference. I can watch a Bobby Eaton match and think, man, that guy's good. Like, that guy made everybody look better. And that guy was genuinely one of the nicest people I ever met at all times.
Yeah.
And that adds something to it as well, because he didn't ever just criticize you for no reason. A lot of times the guys that weren't that good are the ones sitting back behind the curtain going, no, let me tell you something. You know, out there when you did a flip, you should have flopped. For no reason.
I've heard stories about those guys.
And, you know, that's fine. I'm still respectful. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. And that's just the way it is. But this shit pisses me off so bad. And it's not a big deal. It's only a big deal when you make it a big deal. If somebody screws up and throws a leg kick and slaps their thigh and there's nobody there, then you either cover it up quickly, which is what we're supposed to do, is cover each other's stuff up.
Yeah.
You know, you cover it up quickly or have somebody cover it up for you or whatever, man. It's what happens when you do something and it messes up. It happens in matches. But, you know, and then you talk to that person in the back. And, you know, hey, don't ever do that again.
Tell them
you know,
how to fix it.
This has to happen at a perfect time because it adds something to the match. Mm-hmm. It's just like throwing punches. You know, that was a hard one for me because I knew how to fight. So I would throw these really short, straight punches and, you know, tag people. And it was like, look, you've got to oversell your punch. Throw a wide punch because, you know, be the person in the back row. Don't be the person, you know, in the ring. They got to see what you're doing, man.
Yeah.
You know, and slow down. That's the big one, right? Slow down. All this good stuff.
It's an art form.
It is. And it's the most beautiful art form that's ever existed.
And if anyone should understand that, it's Vince McMahon.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm just saying, I'm not saying this out of a place of not knowing. Mm-hmm. And, you know, it's just because all these trolls, it all fuels from basically one source. And this one source who just for whatever reason despises this other company.
Yeah.
Goes out of their way to say what they will. And I will still listen to this person, take their point of view, because I like everybody's point of view, like politics. I listen to a little of everything, unless it just gets to the point where it's like, okay, they're just trying to shit on this other person.
Yeah.
And then I can't listen to you anymore. Even in a human-to-human conversation about another human.
Yeah.
I'll listen to the points. Oh, well, he beat his wife. Oh, did he? Oh, crap. But I'll listen to the guy.
Yeah.
You know, like, what happened? Well, you know, this happened and this happened and this happened. She threw a punch. I was trying to block it and I accidentally hit her and I felt terrible and I sliced myself 5 times on my chest to cut my nipples off and send them to a pope, you know, just to try to bring myself back around, you know. Then I'm probably not going to be as hard on that guy because I did listen to both sides.
Right. There's 2 sides to every story.
And 3. There's 3 sides. There's your side, my side, and the truth.
Yes.
And I understand that.
You get closer to the truth when you listen to the first 2 sides.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So this is just stupid. This one really bothers me. That's why I said earlier, we can't go into that yet.
Yes. Well, Vince is essentially just throwing a fit. Like you said, maybe you could kind of do it like this next time. It was a little obvious. You just do it this way next time. And he's like, fine, you just won't do it at all anymore. I'll just quit doing it. How about that?
Yeah.
Like, come on, man. Calm down. Just take a deep breath. Do some meditation. Calm down.
Well, what I want to know is everybody so job scared that they never challenge his ideas?
Apparently.
Is it one of those things like where you just, you know, you don't challenge it, right?
Yeah.
You just, and I've seen these, I've worked in these conditions.
Everyone just goes, yeah, yes, sir, yes, sir.
Yeah. And they just agree with it. Like, you know, and it could be the craziest thing in the world.
Uh-huh.
Like, you know, strawberry yogurt turns you gay, you know? And it can be like, and instead of saying, sir, we don't really say things like that these days.
Yeah.
You know, instead it's going to be like, nobody eats a strawberry yogurt. I mean.
Somebody get some banana yogurt quick.
Yeah. I mean,
God.
It's just.
Opposing ideas are healthy. They're healthy.
They are. When they're
they
done.
would probably make things better.
When they're done correctly, you normally end up in a better place.
Yes.
But you end up in a much better place when you understand that to generalize that all leg slaps are bad. And I don't, my big thing is, what are you worried about? If it's exposing the business, I want to laugh in thou's face.
Already did that, pal.
I mean, you call it entertainment.
Yeah.
It's in the name.
You already put it in the toilet and took a big dump on it.
It's in the name. You have a character who disappears during a match in front of your eyes and comes back dressed as someone else instantly. And I mean, do you not think shouldn't that be a sign on the wall maybe?
No disappearing in the ring.
Yeah. I mean, should there not be a sign? Should you not get another piece of notebook paper and just put, please do not disappear in matches.
I'm sorry, I'm just imagining Vince getting notebooks and writing "Do not slap leg" and pasting it on the wall.
I mean, it reminds me. It reminds me of a family member who would take a pad in Walmart, and I've only heard stories, but he'll take a pad with him everywhere he goes, and he will be in Walmart and he'll put, you need more cheese
if they're out of something he wants,
and like they don't know that, like there's not a digital system for it. And this is the same guy that when I was still drinking stayed at the house and actually carried Bible tracts with him, and would get my vodka in my freezer and put Bible tracts under the vodka, got in my underwear drawer, I don't even want to tell you what was in there, and put Bible tracts there.
Oh goodness.
So this was a family member on the other side of the family. Mm-hmm. So I was just like, is this like a normal thing? Well, yeah, that's just his way of,
Oh man.
But is that normal? Do you think that in your world, is that normal?
Does this happen to you?
And then my family was brought up. And I'm like, oh, okay, fair point.
You may be liable for compensation.
Yeah, it's just, I just picture that now of, are you that scared? Are you that scared to say, you know what, that's dumb as shit, dude? and
at least make a valid argument for why you should maybe not do that.
And the funny thing is, I love the guy as a character in life.
Yeah.
Like it's a lot of those things that make me love the guy. I actually love him as a commentator.
He's such a caricature.
And I really do. And I think some of the stuff he did was ingenious and great.
He's lost touch.
But my God.
A little bit.
My God, what are you going to do with Adam Cole now?
Oh God.
I mean, Adam Cole is
him.
He's the actual worst leg slapper that I've ever seen. Like I worry about him getting thigh cancer.
Oh goodness.
Because of how hard he slaps his thigh.
I just don't understand anymore.
I mean, it's just I really that just is really weird to me.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And for someone that runs an entertainment business,
yeah, you
gotta entertain, and leg slaps make it entertaining.
So, and I'll just go with Kenny Omega. Do you slap when you do the V trigger? Yes, you absolutely do. But I don't want to see the V trigger if I don't hear that.
Yeah, you gotta hear the noise.
It bothers me when it happens without it, because I enjoy the noise. And I guess we can just go New Japan with everything. Just really knock the shit out of each other.
Yeah.
Let's just concuss everyone.
I'm sure he'd love that when all of his talent's hurt.
Yeah, I mean, let's just Ishii Suzuki everything.
I'll be interested to see what a show looks like now.
Yeah, I mean, what?
You almost want to watch it for the morbid curiosity of it.
Yeah,
just to see, count the leg slaps.
I wanted to take the stomps away too, and and maybe we don't have 29 different views of the same area of the ring with the abrasive camera cuts,
constant camera changes.
So people that actually have seizure problems can watch again.
Motion sickness.
I had this friend that used to come over and we made fun of him. It's really wrong of us, but we only did it behind his back, so it's okay. But he would come over and he'd be like, oh, I can't watch. No. And he'd turn his head. And
get dizzy.
His wife was like, you remember Chef's parents when he's like, you know what that Loch Ness Monster said? I need Tree Fitty. And she goes, Tree Fitty. She was the Tree Fitty wife, because he would say, oh no, it's gonna cause a seizure, sissy. And she'd be like, cause a seizure. You gotta turn that devil show off. And I would just always look at the floor. Cause it was gonna be between that and laugh in your face. Cause I never saw the seizure occur.
Oh man.
But it was promised to me that it happened during a rock show at one point. And there was
just waiting for it.
There was some strobe lighting. So whenever I could have strobe lights around, I would Halloween or whatever. I just wanted them home. But okay.
You got me all worked up and not in a good way.
So
I'm just upset now.